Last week, Tracy Mcgrady said that he never had the chance to win a championship, that he was nearly equal to Kobe, and if he was in Kobe's shoes, he would have won a championship.
We have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Right.
Yeah, that's what.
Is it my fault?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Right. Is it my fault? Right. I was never put in that position, Steve.
And then adding another layer onto it, T-Mac. Then you have players that start saying, okay, no, now I got to be a de facto GM. Huh? Now I have to be a de facto
and that creates
GM.
the ring
now I got to find.
Because now players are going everywhere because they need to get the rings.
No.
Now, I get. You know, when it comes to LeBron and he gets traded or goes to Miami.
LeBron wasn't talking about Bron, though, T-Mac.
No, but I'm talking about
the other players.
The one,
in a
not
sense.
two.
Today we will discuss why Mcgrady would have never won a title with Shaq. A star complex. Tracy Mcgrady was selected 9th overall by the Toronto Raptors in the 1997 draft, but just 3 years later he was gone.
Toronto T-Mac was a totally different Orlando T-Mac.
It was sheltered. You know, the Toronto T-Mac was sheltered because I was coming off the bench. I was held back. Vince had bust into stardom his rookie year.
Shout to Vince,
right?
Carter.
So that was me taking a back seat to him. And, we had a bunch of veterans on that team. I was still a young teenager trying to find my way. But I was kind of sheltered and brought on slowly, which I'm not tripping about because, I've learned a lot sitting back watching Vince and his stardom.
Tracy Mcgrady essentially left his cousin in being the second option to have the opportunity to be the #1 option in Orlando in his 4th year. Kobe, who was paired with a larger-than-life Shaq in 1996, never became the clear-cut #1 option until Shaq was traded in 2004. So why would Mcgrady stick it out with Shaq but bail on his cousin? Bucking the system.
You know what, man? It was so much bullshit going on that last year in Toronto, within internally with Butch and all the outside shit. I couldn't have stayed there, bro. I had to get out. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with Vince. It had nothing to do with – it was just so much internal bullshit. And then Toronto was also competing with Orlando. I'm from there. You know what I'm saying? So my childhood
was cool for a couple years, but give me some help in there. I want to start winning. They did a great job of drafting our first year there. We got Mike Miller. Trade away Mike Miller for whatever reason. I don't know. Brought in Drew Gooden. We had Gordon Girachek. At that time, Mike would have been a better fit because he helps me spread the floor. And bringing in 2 rookies, it was tough. I needed much more experience at that time, and they traded that away. So I got frustrated. I just knew if I had a healthy G Hill, myself, G Hill, and Mike Miller, that trio right there, there's no doubt in my mind I would have played for a championship.
Mcgrady on some of that situation.
I was kind of thrown under the bus a little bit, with not having a franchise. The organization protected me from everything that was said about me in the media. It was, nobody really came out and really told the truth of some of the things that was said. Just like the time when I had my surgery, I notified the team, but in the media, they said I never said anything to the team. And I was like, just stuff like that, man, little things, but,
Unfortunately, everywhere Mcgrady has gone, there has been problems. In Toronto, he couldn't go exist with Vince and had problems with Coach Carter. In Orlando, he constantly complained of not having good teammates. In Houston, he couldn't trust the organization. Also thought he shouldn't have to share the top spot with Yao Ming. Kobe was able to endure coming off the bench, beef with Shaq, full seasons playing with role players, accusations, a media that turned on him, and one of the most demanding coaches in Phil Jackson.
Defense.
Defensively. Absolutely. We've got away from being, our identity for the last couple of years was we were a great defensive team. I don't know if we can say that, about our team right now.
And Tracy has to step it up on defense too. He's very inconsistent on defense, so he has to get better. I'm sure he'll get better with his knee, getting more healthy. This was the best I've seen him today, but it's going to start with Tracy. It's going to start with guys like Michael Jordan, and Kobe's, and LeBron's. And when I was in Sacramento, it started with me, and we start with your leaders. It's going to start with him, and also Yao, and then it filters down. Then it filters down to the other.
Here is former Defensive Player of the Year Ron Artest calling out Mcgrady for inconsistent defense. We've never heard anybody call out Kobe for defense. The ringless idiots in the media think scoring 30 will get you a title and never consider the impact of defense. Kobe has 12 All-NBA selections and Mcgrady had 0. Kobe had a career defensive win share of 3.92 and Mcgrady was 3.08.
Killer instinct.
When I look at Mcgrady, it reminds me of why Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, why Larry Bird was Larry Bird. It's not just talent. There's got to be a fire in the belly. There's got to be a competitive edge where you want to kill the guy across from you. And I've never played with Tracy. I've never had a conversation with him. But he's as talented as any player I've ever seen. But I don't think that fire ever manifested itself.
It's interesting.
Everyone knows about the 13 points in 33 seconds, but to win with Shaq you had to be a killer almost every night. You had to close out every game and series because Shaq was a liability at end of game. For Tracy, sadly, there were way too many times when he came up short when it matters the most. This is the main reason why he wouldn't win with Shaq, because Shaq was on the bench in clutch time.
Championship-wise, Kobe Bryant. He wants it so bad and he's willing to go to the extreme, guarding the point guards at the age of 34, playing 38 minutes, 40 minutes. That's ludicrous. I think this is what he's battling with. It is what it is. He's cursed as much as I am.
When I look at LeBron, he's not what Michael was as a player. He's not even what Kobe Bryant was as a player. So, when you talk about trying to compare Michael's instinct, his ability to take over games, his ability to want to have that last shot.
And demoralize you.
Yes.
And scare the living hell out of you.
LeBron doesn't have that gene.
So, Scotty.
That's not in him. Kobe has that gene.
Leadership.
It's my fault. It's my fault we missing free throws. It's my fault we lost both games. It's my fault that we fouled to tie the game up. With I think there was a minute left when Luis fouled. That was my fault. It's my fault that they getting easy layups. It's my fault that we, not executing well in the offensive end. It's my fault that a couple people in the stands ordered Heineken's, but they got Budweisers. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
This is just one video, but is a microcosm of his career. He's always blaming his teammates or management. The Lakers was Shaq and Kobe as leaders, not just Shaq. Listen to Kobe in just his 4th year.
How disappointed are you?
Well, I just hate losing. It's a tough loss. They played extremely well. We just have to get ready for the offseason. Next season for us starts right now.
Can you assess exactly what went wrong? Was it too many injuries? Was it Shaq's foot at the beginning of the year? Can you begin to assess why you lost this series?
Nah, we have a million and one excuses that we could go to. Fact of the matter is, we're not going to make any. They played better than we did in this series. We had our opportunities to win it. Didn't go for us. So we just have to regroup. Like I said, next season starts right now, and come back next season ready to play.
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I push myself to exhaustion.
Kobe, we thank you for your time.
Availability.
The last and most important reason why Mcgrady wouldn't have won a title with Shaq is due to availability. Mcgrady was held back by injury for most of his career. Playing with someone like Shaq who wasn't on the floor late in games, you needed to be available. Sadly, Mcgrady missed so many games that he would turn himself and Shaq into more of a liability.
The problem with players who have not won is that they think they know what it takes to win, but they don't know what it takes to win. In this case, with Tracy Mcgrady saying that if you swapped him with Kobe, that he guarantees that he'll win a title. Right? But I'm not a player in the NBA, but I know for a fact that it just doesn't take scoring 30 points a game on a team that has no other options or limited options to win. It takes a whole lot of other things, including adaptability, including being able to play within a system, including defense, including leadership, including unselfishness. And unfortunately, these things that I just mentioned, have not been a great part of Mcgrady's career. It also includes availability, right? Seeing how Mcgrady did not play in 30% of his games. Kobe only missed 10% of his games, which is completely insane, which is, a big difference, right? So for Mcgrady to say this just because he's able to score 30 a game, in one season, I think is completely ludicrous. Okay, Kobe Bryant was lights out on defense, and there's not only one side of the ball. 12 all-defensive teams, which is the record. That's what this guy has. And you somehow believe that you can step into his shoes when you have zero. Right? I know you look at Kobe and you think that Kobe's just a scorer, but it's not that only. It's not that only at all. Also closing out games. All right, we have one highlight of Mcgrady closing out games, but other than that, he's been unable to close out games and unable to close out series. All right, one time he was up 2-0 on the Mavs. They stormed back. They beat him. He was up, 2-1? He was up 3-1 on the Pistons with Orlando. They stormed back. They beat him. He was up 2-1 on the Utah Jazz. They stormed back. They beat him. Okay? So, this is not a guy who has shown a killer instinct. So him just saying all of this is really just him saying all of this. Right? And him and other guys should give respect where it's due. Kobe was in the gym hours on hours. He sacrificed to be who he is. Right? Mcgrady himself said that because of talent, he did not sacrifice. He did not practice as much as he could have. Kobe practiced 10,000 times more than he should have. 10,000 times more than Mcgrady did as well. So let's put respect on his name. All right, and stop this BS. That's about it. So until next time.